That's a big chicken. All right. Good morning. It's Sunday, July 14th. We're out here in the garden. We're going to just take a quick walk around the garden. The heat has killed off a lot of my stuff. Other stuff is thriving. It's kind of a mismatch of stuff. Right here is this little volunteer tomato. This thing just popped up here. It's been growing here, grew through the winter, but it pops out these cool little, look at those. Pops out these nice little tomatoes. And it's been producing those quite a bit. So this is one of the ones I took a clone off of. And we're gonna walk over here. There's kind of an empty spot. I'm gonna plant some tomatoes in here, I think. Actually, I have one I just started right there. That's a piece of oregano. The oregano's doing really good in here. So are the chives. This right here is pretty much my last living tomato. It's doing just fine. Just in a really good spot. You know, next year for summer, this is probably just going to be one solid tomato patch with the oregano underneath it. Seems to work well. Here's one of my last zucchini plants. It's looking like the heat's pretty much got to it too, pretty good. But it's still kicking along. The squash bugs didn't show up this year for some reason. I don't know. Here's another zucchini. This one's doing a little better. He's in a little more deeper shade. I think that helps him. This is more that oregano patch here. This stuff just goes all over to there, back into there. There's some stuff, yeah, there's oregano back in there too. And let's see, let's walk over here. Let's see, this is a crinum lily. This was another bed I grew that didn't do too well. It was mainly a chili pepper bed, and you can see we still have chilies in it. They're not real big, and what happened is I planted a couple zucchini in here. They took over, and as the heat has taken over, it's pretty much knocked the zucchinis back. Now the chilies are starting to pop out. These guys will plug right along through the summer, no problem. I don't see anything. We might stick a couple other things in there just to see if we can fill some gaps in. It's hard in July to really fill your gaps in because it's just hard to get stuff started when it's 114 out. We're going to look at this next, but here is a chiltepine plant. My shadow's in the way, but you can see it's got lots of little chiltepines I need to start picking in it. There's a hunk of Bermuda that's got to get pulled. Here's a green chili plant. It never grows big green chilies. You can see it's full of chilies, but they're very hot. So, and then this is a nice little chili patch back in here. And it's done pretty good too, I have to say. You can see it kind of goes all the way along here. It's about 6 feet long. Some of the bigger ones are 3 feet tall, like this one. But I got to get in here and pick. You can see it's putting in some chilies. Some nice looking little chilies in here. Some are turning red. That's fine. But yeah, that little chili plant, this little chili patch did pretty darn good. It's going to cruise right through the summer, I think. Especially now the humidity's kicked up with the monsoon finally arriving. So here's the tomato patch. And you can pretty much see there's a little basil popping out, but this thing is pretty much cooked. It's done. We're finished. There's still a little green left in here on some of these, but yeah, I'm actually going to cut this down. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's getting cut down. Maybe I'll just let it go fallow for the summer and relax a little bit. Let's go back in here. There's we planted some black-eyed peas and little papaya plants in here. I put these little cages on stuff to keep the dogs and the birds out of them. As you can see, some of the black-eyed peas are coming in. There's an asparagus back there. It's done. It'll grow back next year. Some more chives. This was, let's go over here. So in here was another really big zucchini plant I had. It took up this whole space, and you can see it just cooked. The squash bugs didn't get it this year, which I'm amazed. I might want to try and plant some pumpkins. But what's left in here is just chilies. There's one here. It's about almost 6 feet tall. Doesn't have any chilies on it, but it's growing. So, and then back in here in the shade more, it seems the chilies have done a little better. There's a zucchini there with a giant zucchini. I never got picked off of it. That's okay. We'll just let that decompose back into the ground. And so this garden and this garden are pretty much cooked. Just going to clean them out and mulch them. Let them relax a little bit. And then over here we got some more chilies back here. And then here, black-eyed peas. This is our black-eyed pea patch. You can see there is nothing wrong with this thing. The heat doesn't bother these things one friggin' bit. I can see sunflowers in here. You can see some of these bigger sunflowers I planted, the non-wild type, are coming up. And then look here. See this guy with the little tentacles on him? That's one of our cantaloupes. So our cantaloupes are coming in. But yeah, that's a nice looking little bed. Got some other things growing in it, but it's mainly black-eyed peas. And then next to it is another black-eyed pea patch, which is full to the top with black-eyed peas, sunflowers, more of these cantaloupes. These are really growing big. Here's a tomatillo that's popping up in here. There's another one right there. So it looks pretty good. My only thing out here so far is back here in the back. I know I planted this, but nothing's really growing. I think it's just too deeply shaded from the grape plants. And maybe the chickens are poking their head over the fence, eating some stuff. But if you look over here, same type of climate, but these chili plants, they're doing just fine under all this stuff. So I'm thinking next year, we're just going to do a nice big long hedgerow of chilies along this back here under the grapevine. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. But yeah, the melons, the tomatillos, the black-eyed peas, and the sunflowers are coming up really good in here. This looks really nice. It's the middle of July. It's 114. Well, it hasn't been 114 yet. That's coming tomorrow. But you can see stuff is thriving out here. Pretty much in full sun, too. And then here's our last little garden we're going to look at, which is friggin' nuts. I don't know if you can see the depth of it all. It goes all the way, it's going up the wall, comes back here, comes through here, and this is our sweet potato patch, which I would say is a solid 10 foot by 10 foot now. And that's 100 square feet of just sweet potato plants. You remember when we planted this, these were just little sticks, and they are just going crazy. These papaya plants that were little sticks, that one's 3 feet tall now. These things are really shredding in the summer. I'll be curious to see if we actually get anything in here. And then down here in the middle, there's a real good picture of one, and there's one right there. And they're holding their own against the sweet potatoes, but those are our horseradish plants. When it comes time to dig them up, I don't know how I'm going to get them out of there, but I will get them out because I want some horseradish. I think that'd be the coolest thing in the world. I've never actually successfully grown horseradish. I've grown little itty bitty roots, but nothing like a big giant one. But yeah, that's our quick garden tour. As you can see, certain things are really thriving. Let's get back here in the back and we'll look at it. And we start back here in the shade. All sweet potatoes. All sweet potatoes. All sweet potatoes. These are two different kinds. These are some I started from store-bought, and then some purple ones I bought online. This half is the purple. That half is the regular. You can't really tell. I just know the difference because of where they're planted at. Go a little further out there. We got our other two, our black-eyed pea patches with the mixed things in it. There's that big, tall chili plant, and then all that other stuff on the other side of it is dead. We're going to chop that down. Here's asparagus. Summer doesn't bother asparagus either out here. So all in all, there's some stuff that's toasty and cooked. Well, there's stuff that's looking really good, and we're going to keep plugging away, man. It's summer in Arizona. This is a fun time to grow stuff, if it's not too hot. See you later.